here we are.
So we're kind of going to be talking about play quite a bit today. I do. So you study a lot of play in animals, and you also have it's kind of important to you. You've been critical of some of the anthropomorphizing that happens in research. Could you maybe set that up a little bit, and maybe some of the why we have to be careful not to anthropomorphize too much in situations?
Well, anthropomorphism, when I was started off in school, there were two sins that you shouldn't do as a scientist studying animal behavior. One was being anthropomorphic, and the other was relying on anecdotes. So those are the two sins, and they go back to like the early 19th or late 19th century and the post-Darwinian enthusiasm for looking at continuity between animal and non-human animal and human behavior. Even Darwin got very anthropomorphic in looking at relationships between the emotions and mental lives of other species and ourselves for the goal of focusing on continuity and their similarities, but often based on, at that time, really poor methods to study behavior. There wasn't really, motion pictures or movies or video to document behavior, and it was very easy to apply human-type processes, concepts to other species. And in fact, anthropomorphism is the attribution of non-human characteristics to non-human beings, non-human things, and that includes the weather, that includes non-animate things. And actually, anthropomorphism began as a way of looking at God, because in many religions, we anthropomorphize God. We give God, gender, male gods or female gods. We
he's
give them
kind of looks
feelings.
like us, just bigger muscles and a beard, and up there just like a larger size, and kind of those sorts of things, like pictures of Zeus or something like that.
Right, and the idea of a personal God, a God who's looking out for you, someone that you love and admire, and these are very anthropomorphic kinds of tendencies that seem to be pretty endemic into human psychology, and we apply it also to, as I say, inanimate things. We talk about ecology. We talk about insulting the flag, for instance. We use this in general terminology. And then when you start looking at animals and how they may be feeling or responding, we often then fall back on our own, what we would feel like or what we would do in those situations, which may not always be wrong at all, but we just have to be critically aware of those kinds of interpretations.
Because there's also, you could err on the other way as well, which is, what would you call that, like Anthro Denialism or something like that, where maybe there's people that like to think, oh well, humans are at kind of the pinnacle of life or evolution, or we have dominion over animals, and there's also been a risk of people not considering that animals are actually experiencing some of the same things. And we even see this amongst humans, where we have dehumanization of outgroups, and whether that's different cultures or religions or race or what have you, we tend to sometimes go the opposite way and not realize that other minds are sharing similar attributes as our own.
That's absolutely true. And in fact, I wrote with a former grad student, Jesus Rivas, a paper we call Anthropomorphism by Omission, where we're so concerned about being, objective and non-judgmental in a way that we don't see the similarities. And so I've been very influenced through my career by an Estonian biologist called 𝐂𝐨𝐦𝐦𝐻 𝐸𝐴, who came up with the idea of the 𝕊𝕙𝕒𝕟, that all species, all different people, have their own way of looking at the world and being impressed by the sensory stimuli around them, and that we need to really make an effort to understand each species umwelt as well as each individual's a way of viewing the world. So it's a perceptual side of things that we need to look at, that other animals don't see the world the same way. They see things that we don't, like bees see ultraviolet light patterns. What's a white flower to us has many structural units and complexity to a bee or to other species. Many mammals don't see colors the way we do, and their visual ability is quite different.
Humans don't have the same kind of olfactory senses as many of the mammals out there, and kind of the use of it in navigating our world to the extent that many other mammals do.
Look at bats, and many rodents have ultrasonic hearing on vocalizations. So they're chatting away and communicating that we are completely oblivious to. And that has consequences. For instance, in animal laboratories, where you keep rodents who are very sensitive to vocalizations, ultrasonic vocalizations, yet we can have machinery and air conditioning systems and so on that are generating really loud sounds that we can't hear, but could be really obnoxious and harmful to the other species. Yet because we seem, we can't experience it, or it doesn't exist, that is a major error. So that's what we call by anthropomorphism by omission, forgetting that other species may be sensitive in ways that are alien to us.
That's so interesting.